Hi, welcome to the channel today. Today we're going to be going over the dwarf varieties of tomatoes I'm going to be growing this year. My wife's with me today. And I guess first off, the man that really started the dwarf craze, I guess, was Craig LaHoulier, and he wrote a book back a few years ago, 10 years ago. And it's kind of funny, when I bought, first time I bought the book, we bought it right before Harvey. So I bought the book, I thumbed through it, it looked like a good book I like to read, but I was going to read it during the fall of the year when everything got cold. Harvey hit, it was one of the things that got wiped out, like almost all my other books. Yep. And then later I thought, well, I like that book, so I went ahead and I bought it again. And that time it was a scam. That you bought the book, so I had to get a refund on the book, and I didn't order it back right after that because, you know, they refund your money or whatever. And then we had on What Brooks Grows, she went through COVID or whatever, and she gotten sick right before Thanksgiving. It was, you know, she wasn't really sick, but she couldn't go around the grandparents. She was kind of depressed, so she was kind of, you know, down in the dumps about that. So we sent her the book, and she loved the book. And I'm going, okay, she really likes the book. I thumbed through it, I liked it. So I finally got this copy. The fourth time I was trying to buy or got the copy, I finally got a copy of the book. But, and some of these have come on after he wrote the book. So I'm not really going with his ones he recommended in here, though he recommends a lot of dwarf varieties and also some of the just heirloom varieties of tomatoes and things. So it's a really good book, and he goes into explaining about plant breeding and that type of stuff too, but also does a lot of reviews on different kinds of tomatoes. And I've grown some of them; they've worked well. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Kookaburra Cackle, and I've set these in these little covers that you can get, or at least last year you could get at Dollar Tree. I don't know if they're in there this year or not. You can do the same thing though with a Coke bottle, especially 3-liter Coke bottles, is set them over the top of it, take the lid off of it. Like I've got these vents opened up, and I usually keep them open because I had them shut down last night, and I forgot to about 12 o'clock today to open them back up, and it gets a lot of water in them. That increases the humidity, and that can increase the disease. That's the only bad thing about them. Also, if they get big enough, the plants get big enough and they start touching the sides and you get a frost, it will burn the leaves that touch the sides of the plastic container. That's true of all plastic, but otherwise it works pretty good. And I did not put these in order, so I got to look through them. First one we're going to talk about is Kookaburra Cackle, and it's one I've grown before. It makes pretty well. I don't always know exactly how well they make, because when they start making, all my tomatoes make, and this is kind of a sideline for me. But Kookaburra Cackle, it's a 70-day variety from the time that you transplant it. It's a brown tomato. It has a pleasant but tart flavor, so it's not going to be a sweet tomato. It does have Cherokee purple in its lineage. So, and I'm going to try to, if I know the lineage or figure out the lineage of them, I'm going to tell you, what they are. All the seeds I bought, or at least Liberty Seed, Victory Seed Company. Victory Seed Company carries them all except for Fuzzy Wuzzy. I might not have bought all of them, though most of them I bought from Victory Seeds, but I don't go around figuring out, where they are. Sometimes I buy seeds from different companies. So, and I'm not affiliated with anybody. I've never been sponsored by anybody. So if I recommend something, I'm just recommending it. No one's giving me anything. I haven't asked for anything either, but some other YouTubers I get, I have different things that they sponsor and stuff.
She's enjoying the toy.
I don't do that. Anyway, number 2. I'm gonna check these off so I don't forget. It's Tomato. Okay, now it's got a different, I'm gonna go and pull this off. It's got a different type of leaf on it, if you can see it. More potato leaf. And I don't particularly like that. It seems to me like they get more disease. Now, it could just be, I haven't done a big, I've just done a few. But it's supposed to be a 6 to 12 ounce tomato. It's an 80-day variety. It's a yellow with red swirls. It's well balanced, mildly sweet. It is a bigger one, so it's going to get up to 4 foot. No, not this one. It's a 4 foot high, it's supposed to be high yielding. It does have the red swirls and streaks going throughout the flesh. So it's one of the ones like you like probably, because you like the sweeter tomatoes. But anyway, that is tomato. If I hadn't already done that. So we got that one off the list. Next thing is going to be Lucky Swirl. I've grown it before. It's a lot like the last one I talked about. And but it's a 90-day. I haven't seen it being that much later than the other ones, but I'm not sure. It's 5 to 12 ounces. It's a yellow with red bicolor. It's a cross between Lucky Cross and Russian Swirl. And Lucky Cross did really well for me out in the garden. So, but it's one of the parents of it. It's got a mild sweet flavor to it. So again, one that you would like. I know the Lucky Cross that we had out there was, I think it was tied for the best tasting tomato last year, along with Brandywine Pink. So it was one that everybody seemed to like. I don't remember the flavor of the problem I have with the dwarf tomatoes is we ran out there and we'd grab a tomato here rather than walk the 300 feet to my tomato patch out in the garden. We'll just come out in the front yard and grab them. So I don't always compare them side by side, and a lot of times I just pick them and go. So I'm going to try to do a better job this year of doing some taste comparison to see how they taste. But anyway, and then the last one here is Tasmanian Chocolate. That's got Tas chocolate on it. The Tasmanian Chocolate is 85 days. It grows 3 to 4 feet, so it's a little bit, it's a medium size plant for a dwarf tomato. It's 5 to 12 ounces. It has some variability in the size. It's a full flavor, balanced. It has Paul Robeson in its heritage or in its lineage. It's one of them I've always really liked well. So it probably has more of that more umami flavor to it. I do remember I liked that one. So and it does seem to be pretty flavorful. Now these rondones, I planted those yesterday. The ones I planted today is over here. Okay. Well, I got 9 plants. I only got 8 varieties. One of them I planted twice. I will say these little trays like this, they are worthless because you'll buy them and they're really one use, because when you get them out, you got to smash them, you got to push them up, get them up out of the ground, or get them out to the pots. The roots on these things will be growing in a circle. It just does not work well. So if you're ever going to upgrade your seeding deal, upgrade them with, now I'm going to get long-winded, upgrade them with one of these. I think they work really well. Because if you hold that, we're just going to pop one out. If you'll notice on these, see how the roots are growing down and not in around a circle? So that's good. Because when a root grows in a circle like that, they tend to want to continue to grow in a circle. It's not that big a deal with tomato plants, but still. And if you're going to be growing broccoli or cauliflower or something like that, that's a lot easier to get out of the trays, because with the tomato plant, once they get big enough size, you can just take them and you can just pull them out from out here. You know, I can pull this one up out. I'm not going to hurt the tomato plant. I could pull that out all the way if I wanted to. But if you get broccoli and stuff, a lot of times you can't do that with them. They end up breaking something. So anyway, so now on my other, and I don't think I have grown any of these. Well, the Fuzzy Wuzzy I have. So let's go ahead and talk about Fuzzy Wuzzy, and that's the name of it. It's Fuzzy Wuzzy. It is not from Victory Seeds. If you'll notice, it has very fuzzy leaves on it. It's got more of a silvery cast to it. It's more to me of an ornamental. The flavor's not that great. It's a very pretty tomato. It's got a lot of streaks in it. It's more of aroma type flavor. I think if you're just going to be making paste out of it or something like that, it'd work great. It's not a good slicing tomato, but it's a good tomato if you want. I know a lady that's her granddaughter. It's her tomato. She grows it. It grows about 18 inches to 2 feet, so that makes it kind of a tweener, because it's a lot of people say it's a dwarf tomato. To me, it's a micro. Lots of people call it a micro dwarf tomato because it's, you know, under 2 feet. But to me, it's more of a dwarf because I did plant it in a smaller pot. But if you try to put that in a 1 gallon pot like these other dwarf tomatoes over here, it's not really big enough. These pots aren't big enough for that, for the fuzzy wuzzy. So I always consider it a dwarf and go with it from there. Though I'm not sure if it's truly a dwarf or a micro dwarf. Next one we're going to talk about is this one here, and it's Moralinga. And it's 75 days, has a rich, brown, intense flavor, so it should have a lot of, you know, intensity to it. 6 to 12 ounces, so it's a big tomato. It also has Cherokee purple in its lineage, so a lot of hopes for that. Now, one problem I've had with some of these is trying to get a good container. But Kelsey from the Evil, Wicked, Mean, and Nasty channel, we was watching her video, and I've seen them before, and there's a pot that's kind of like this that you buy at the Lowe's or whatever, and then they got some tiers above it, and it's all one deal. It's all plastic. And she had a couple of those, and I was going, man, if I had some of those. And she also has a greenhouse. She's also a new gardener. And she just started her YouTube channel as far as on gardening. But anyway, jealous of the greenhouse and jealous of those containers that would work. Me, I've tried different things. What I should do is get those wire cages and go over it, but they're expensive. So sometimes I'll take a pole or whatever, those plastic rods, and tie those to them and try that. But that is one thing you want to try to figure out better than I have, because these things get so heavy they're not very big, but they get so heavy with fruit they will split if you're not careful. That's what happened to me last year on one of them. This one here is Velvet Night. Now it's 70 days. It's a cherry type. It's 1 to 3 ounces, so it's a little bit variability. Yeah, variability. It's going to be a purple one. It's supposed to have excellent flavor. Now, you will notice whenever you read in gardening catalogs, it never says it's got poor flavor. No. That's never told. But this is supposed to be excellent. So, in fact, sometimes you're reading on something and, you know, I've tasted some stuff and they say it's got very good flavor. I'm going, I've tasted that before and it was not very good. But I don't know about this one. I actually planted 2 of them because that one wasn't really big, so I planted another one. And I don't, like I say, I don't think they're going to be very big. They're little compared to that. Yeah, they were stuffed in between 2 big ones. I don't think I'm not sure how big they get. And they got Jeremy stripes. And this is only for you. See, I planted a lot of tomatoes for you this year.
Oh, for me?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
This is orange with green stripes. Supposed to have excellent balanced flavor. It's a 2-ounce fruit, so it's going to be a smaller fruit. And that's an average. And it only gets 2 to 3 foot tall. So it's going to be on the smaller side for your dwarf tomatoes. But it's going to have that green, green streaks in it. So it'd be interested. And I guess I'll go over a Micro Dwarf since we're here. If those are too big of containers for you and you need smaller containers, you can grow Micro Dwarfs. And this one here is Bonsai, and it only gets about 8 to 12 inches tall. This one here is Jackalow, and I think it's only get about 8 inches total. And if you notice, that thing is already blooming out. It's gonna have tomatoes on it pretty soon.
Don't look like it's gonna last much longer.
Yeah, it's not good. Well, and then these are Fat Frogs. This one here and this one here. It is a bigger one. Yeah, Fat Frogs is here. It is putting on blooms already, so, but it does tend to get up about this tall. It gets up more the 14 to 16 inch range. But this bigger pot, these pots are going to make in these containers. No, these plants are going to make in these containers.
I was like, what?
Words are hard sometimes.
Yes, they are.
It's harder when you're around. You distract me. But anyway, these are my full-size tomato plants here. They'll be ready in about 2 weeks. They look small now, but they go from this size to this size real quick. So I'm hoping the weather stays good. we're ready to plant these out. These were planted 2 weeks. I guess these may be 3 weeks old. And because I planted these a week ago. And I planted these 2 weeks after that. So these are 3 weeks old. And this here is a week old because these are planted later. But hopefully they'll catch up. But anyway, if you hadn't got your tomatoes planted, you're running behind. If you're in zone 9A, I'm in Texas zone 9A, up near Beaumont. So if you're in, you know, if you're in zone 8, you probably got, you know, a little bit more time. But you still need, it's still getting time to plant the tomato seeds. In Texas and in the South, you do need to plant these things early, and sometimes you may have to cover them up, but that's okay. But anyway, anything else you got to say?
No.
Okay. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.